Hello YouTube, Dave here again. I am back with another viewer question video. This is actually a question that is connected to another viewer question video that I did not too long ago. The subject for that video was books in my collection that I had no interest in ever opening up or reading through ever again. And one of the questions, or one of the comments posed there was why, or it wasn't really the question, but it was just sort of asked in such a way, or the comment was phrased in such a way as like, why, if you don't like the books, do you still keep them? Like, why do you have them in your collection if you don't enjoy them? And so basically I thought, I was going to respond to it as just responding to the comment, but I think that it might be better to sort of discuss it in a video. That way I can hopefully articulate myself a little bit more thoroughly. We'll see how this goes. I'm still recording these videos late at night, so there's a good chance that the goal of being able to articulate it well does not pan out the way I was hoping it would. But regardless, so the idea of why do I keep books that I'm not a fan of, or I don't like, or I don't want to read through again. And the answer is kind of simple. It's because that's the collector side of me. I enjoy collecting RPG books, and sometimes that means you have to have your share of the bad with the good. Kind of look at things like video game collectors as sort of a way to help explain this, because I know, for example, video game collectors will fill their shelves with horrible video games that they absolutely hate, much stronger than the dislike or the dissatisfaction that I had with the books that I discussed in that original video. But they have them because it's just part of their collecting. Most of those books were also ones that I had picked up brand new at the time, so it wasn't something that I went back for and added into my collection after the fact. These were just things that I was getting at the time because I was into collecting, and I still am to an extent. But as far as the things that I'm at the point now where I'm just kind of seeking out things that I know I'm going to like, but at the same time I don't want to get rid of any of the books that I have, even if I don't like them, because there's still memories attached to them, and sometimes they're not always pleasant memories, and I do get that. But I don't know. There's just sometimes I just kind of shake my head and laugh at the book, or at the fact that I have it on my shelf. The Miniatures Handbook is probably a perfect example of that. Like of all the books that I mentioned in the previous video, this is the one that I probably am closest to just utterly disdaining. But at the same time, I remember it when I look at it. It still reminds me of what was going on at the time. I remember anticipating getting this from my local game store, and I think this came out around the same time as I want to say it even came out the same month as like the Book of Exalted Deeds, which made it a very not good, which made it a very rough month for the D&D books that were coming out back in 2003. But I don't know. I just looking at this book, as much as I dislike the contents of it, it triggers just the memories that I had of playing the miniatures game with friends at my local game store at the time, and just how much I really looked forward to and enjoyed that, and how much fun it was to get together with them every Friday, and we start playing around 3:30. And right up until about 5, and then of course one of the guys had to take over behind the counter. But I just remember, like, that's sort of a memory that's connected to it. And with the Waterdeep Dragon Heist one, it's something that I should probably never say never to that book. And truthfully, after I put that out and going through some of the comments there, I think it might be fun to do a video discussing what changes I would make to it, to make it something that I would consider running. Because the thing with that book is, I think the basic premise is interesting. The execution was the thing that was really lacking, in my opinion. So it might be fun to go back and do that. But at the same time, I still have that book because that's part of collecting mode. Like, I'm currently collecting all of the 5th edition books, or at least all of them until they start going bananas with it, which they almost did a couple years ago, which is actually around the time that that book came out is when they started going off the rails. But at the same time, that I have it because that's, part of my collection. And then the other 2 books were ones that I really enjoy having, but it's just an issue with the way that they are manufactured that makes me not want to go through them and look through them out of fear that they will fall apart. I mean, in fact, one of them actually already has pages falling out, and that was a book that was never used more than once. Like, saw the original person that owned it opened it up once, and the pages started falling out then. So that's sort of why. So that's why those ones are there. But just to basically answer the question, is sometimes you have to buy, or you have to have some kind of questionable items in the collection to make it feel like a real collection. You could focus on just all the great stuff, and for the most part, that's what I'm doing now. But again, even these books that I don't like sort of take me back nostalgically. At least this one in particular. The other book is, in my opinion, a good example of, I think, things to avoid, or things that I would consider to be rough adventure design. So those are things that I can use to learn from, and to use that as a way to sort of grow and help develop the way that I write adventures, because I don't want to say that I hate the way that they structure it, but then write an adventure myself that is very much in that same line. So so that's sort of, I guess, a motivational thing to have there. But I hope that sort of explains that. And like I said, I think most people that collect things, especially when it comes to gaming, understand that not everything that they have is going to be a winner. Not everything is going to be, one of the greatest books ever written. Some of them are just going to be not great. But that's just the nature of collecting, I guess. So again, I hope that sort of put that into perspective. And if it wasn't for the fact that I was serious about wanting to build my RPG collection, there's a lot of those books that I probably would have parted with, or sold off, or given to people just to get them out of my way. But again, I enjoy collecting, and it doesn't always mean that you're collecting the greatest stuff. So I hope, like I said, I hope that sort of puts everything in perspective. Anyway, I just wanted to dive into that a little bit, and because I just thought it would be something that would be kind of fun to talk about. So I hope that made sense. And I hope that you can relate to it. Again, I sort of look at video game collecting as the standard for that. So thank you guys very much for watching. If there's any other questions that you have, feel free to ask them, post them in the comments, and I will try to get to them as best as I can. So thank you again for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Take care.